It's basketball season again, E. It's hard to believe that it's here, but it is here, and you are in Burnaby to enjoy it all. What's going on at Raptors camp?
Well, they're on the floor right now for day 2, session 1, doing 2 days for most of the week here. So there's not a whole lot to report news-wise out of today. But yesterday, the kind of theme coming out of yesterday's sessions was just, for the first time in a long time, chemistry and familiarity, and a team that has a starting 5 and the 2 key pieces off the bench back, and just kind of let's hit the ground running with what we've got and build upon what we did last year. And that's something that, DeRozan certainly hasn't had much of, if any, in his career, because, it's kind of been the case of a struggling Raptors team for many years, turning over its roster year after year in the offseason with, major changes and 4, 5, 6, 7 new bodies. This year, that's not the case. It's guys that are just coming in saying, all right, we know each other, we know our tendencies, we know the playbook, we've got the exact same coaching staff back as well. Let's go. And it's kind of a fresh perspective, I suppose, in a sense, something that we're not used to, let alone the players.
Eric Smith with the Raptors in Burnaby, BC, as they prepare for their first preseason game Sunday at Rogers Arena against Sacramento.
Stop trying to add the BC at the end of it. Just say Burnaby.
Burnaby.
It's hard to say.
Well, there's a Burnaby, Saskatchewan, but you didn't know that.
No.
Geography.
I didn't know that one.
Eric, when's the last time you covered this team in training camp where there were not 20 new guys?
Yeah.
Ever?
Seriously.
Which is hard, too, because there's no 20-man roster in the NBA.
Whatever,
so it's saying
Matt.
Something. But what?
I knew where Sid was going, though.
I meant like new assistant GMs and stuff like that, too.
Oh,
that's what I was talking about.
Even think back to last year. In some senses, it was the same team, sort of, in that you started camp with Lowry, with DeRozan, with Gay, with Valanciunas, with Terrence Ross. But at the same time, there were so many questions about who's going to be in the starting lineup. What's it going to look like? Is this team a fringe playoff team? Are they a terrible team? Is it going to be going for the tank? What's happening? So even though there were familiar faces, there were not positive vibes or good feelings about what could be coming. And or maybe the better way of putting it is just there were a lot of questions. This year there didn't seem to be as many questions, at least not as many potential negative questions. And to go back to your original question, Sid, I'd say it's been a good 5 years at least, if not longer, whether it be a coach, a coaching staff, a GM, an assistant GM, a key player, the bench, there's always been change. There's always been movement. And this year, the only real changes are good changes, I guess, in terms of 2 guys in James Johnson and Lou Williams, adding to the depth of the bench that is already kind of bolstered by Patrick Patterson and Gravis Vasquez, and your entire starting 5 is already back. So it's kind of funny from a media perspective. There's not a lot of juicy storylines per se. It's more of, can you build upon what you did last year and take that next step?